So hey everyone, and as always, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich Charpentier, and for regular subscribers, you know we do a lot of drone talk, sometimes some mobile tech talk, and someday we're going to talk about travel again. But today is another drone video day, and I got a couple of quick topics today, so this is going to be a shorter one for you. Let me adjust my chair just a bit. There we go. Now, today's title probably gives you an idea of what we're going to talk about, but the number one piece of news that I saw interesting in the last couple days with drones has to be the Skydio Too. So there's a lot of excitement out there. I got to check out the videos from Skydio. I know that so many different drone channels are talking about it. If you look through YouTube and do a Skydio Too search, you're going to come up with a lot of videos. Not a lot of people have the Skydio 2 in their hands yet, but a couple of folks do, and I've checked their videos as well. I have to say right off the top, very exciting. The autonomous power of this drone is very interesting. Their new little beacon system is very interesting. And so I'm pretty enthused. I'm very interested in autonomous flight with drones. And as most viewers to the channel will know, I use Ground Station Pro a lot. I use Litchi a lot, Map Pilot. So I do a lot of automated flight as well as regular flying. So when I see something new with autonomous flight and drones, that gets me pretty excited. With all of that said, right now I'm personally withholding judgment on the Skydio 2 till I see some more videos from folks using them. But for my own personal business, I don't see a business use case yet for me. So the bulk of what I'm doing for clients is normally imaging for them or doing progression reports or doing modeling. And while all these things are autonomous flight, they don't seem to be what the Skydio 2 is all about. The Skydio 2 looks like a flying action camera, which is awesome. So if you're into mountain biking or maybe out kayaking, or as they showed on their videos, running around on a snowmobile and being in beautiful, amazing places where you're getting aerial video of the activities that you're participating in, that's really cool and exciting. For the kind of things that I do and the work that I do with drones, doesn't really have a place in it. I don't see the Skydio 2 orbiting a house for sale for me. The house isn't going to be moving around much, so that's not going to play to the Skydio's best qualities, I suppose. So what's my judgment on it? I don't have a judgment on it right now. I think it looks very interesting. And for a certain class of drone users, this is going to be an absolute game changer, and they're going to absolutely love it. For me, for the moment, I don't think it's going to be something that I'm incorporating into my business, but you never know. Also, I don't do a lot of action sports, backpacking or mountain biking, sure. But we're not doing anything super thrilling that's going to be improved through the aerial view and tracking. I will say one other thing: the tracking on it looks absolutely amazing. Of course, I've done tracking with my Phantom or my Mavic Pro and my Mavic 2 Pro. Both of them I've tried it out, and both of them I haven't always been super thrilled with. So the Skydio might have a really great niche there. And, it might fit into your drone business. And I'm going to say we're all going to need to sit back and, after all the hype is done, start seeing what people are doing with them and maybe come up with some cool ideas for, your own business using the Skydio. So there we go on that one. And now that we've named that drone, let's go ahead and move on. The second piece of news I have from over the weekend. So I didn't do any flying this past weekend. Interestingly enough, over the weekend, we had an air show at KPRC here in Prescott. So what was really cool, what was very exciting, I knew the air show was coming up, but I had to, let's flip screens here, and let's just go right here. I did a screen capture on Saturday. And so this is from Skyvector, of course. And as you can see on the Skyvector map here, we've got this red circle around KPRC here in Prescott, and it was a temporary flight restriction. So aerial demonstrations effective 10/5 from 16:45 Zulu until 20:30 Zulu. So right away, the TFRs did show up in Skyvector immediately. And when I was taking a look on Saturday morning, I said, okay, I'm going to go check out Kitty Hawk. I'm going to go check out AirMap. So I checked both of them, and both of them had the restricted area as well. So the TFR was showing up in both Kitty Hawk and Air Map. So I was happy to see that the three things that I usually check, Skyvector, Kitty Hawk, and Air Map, all of them did show the temporary flight restriction. So the flight restriction wasn't a super long period of time over the weekend. They actually kept it really short, which I found interesting. And when looking at that map, you can see from surface to 10,000. So that was valid for 4 hours. So I think our apps and our websites are getting better and better with showing all of the flight restrictions that are out there for us. But still, keep in mind that you shouldn't depend on one or another. You should check all the resources out there for you. And that's gonna help you along immensely so that you're not flying where you shouldn't be flying. All right, so there we go, the Prescott flight. Finally, I wanted to follow up. So, we've launched the new Udemy class, using Litchi in your business and doing the waypoints for video and for still photography, getting some great feedback. So thanks to everyone who's been participating here and who started up with some of the classes. And as I said the other week, I did a video about teaching online classes. I think I'm going to continue talking about that so that you can get some ideas in case you want to do your own online tutorials, not just for drones, but for anything else that you have some expertise with. Finally, I did respond to, I had a couple of subscribers here and students from my other courses get in touch, and they had a couple more questions beyond the new Litchi class. So last week, right after launching the class, I actually created 2 additional lectures that have nothing to do with Litchi, but have to do with doing your drone business. So if you're actually doing progression reports, I've had several people ask here and on the class for some more samples of progression reports and what really goes into them. So that new Litchi class does have 2 new lectures that don't have anything to do with Litchi, but do bring you up to speed on some of the things that you're going to need to know in order to do drone construction progression reports. There isn't this one-stop resource out there with a piece of paperwork that says, here are the steps for doing drone construction progression, because each client might be different. And each client might have different needs. With that in mind, you're going to have a larger skill set than just, hey, I know how to fly my drone with Litchi. So in those 2 lectures, which I'm going to be giving a link to below, because one of the lectures I'm going to make is a free preview for you to check out. In those 2 lectures, I walk through some of the things that you're going to need to develop some expertise with. So if you're interested in doing drone construction reporting, you're going to need to know about video editing. You're probably going to need to know about building websites and website pages. You're going to need to know about photography editing. You're going to need to know how to organize your media files, and potentially you might have to know something about 2D and 3D modeling depending on what your customers want from you. There is no one-size-fits-all, here's the PDF sheet of paper that you should do for every single one of your clients. I haven't seen anything like that out there on the net yet, and I highly doubt that I'm going to, because as you're working with a customer, you're going to develop an understanding of what it is they want and they need, and you should be customizing the entire experience for them. So in my case, I'm starting to do all of this as displays on websites and private pages for customers. That might be something you're interested in doing as well, but it's going to be completely dependent on your customers' needs and you listening to them. So there you go. So down below in the show notes, you can check out the link to the free preview where I talk a little bit about what those progression reports are going to look like and what goes into them. All right, everybody, this has been a kind of a crazy morning, so I had planned a little more time to do this, but had to bring the vehicle into service today, had a couple other things come up, and this camera right here was not being happy at all when I started this filming up. I do have one other thing that I wanted to mention, and go figure I don't have the iPad in here. For all of my subscribers who are Ground Station Pro users, I have upgraded my iPad Mini 4 to the new iPadOS. I don't know if you saw that recently, but we've got the iOS updates and now the iPadOS updates. I did the new iPadOS update. It did not hurt GroundStation Pro at all, so everything that was functioning in GroundStation Pro seems to still be functioning. I'd love to hear back from other subscribers who are GroundStation Pro users and therefore iPad users. Have you updated to the new iPadOS yet? And is everything running good for you on all of your apps, especially GroundStation Pro, since probably the reason you have the iPad is to run GroundStation Pro like me. That's the only reason I bought the iPad, was just to run the GroundStation Pro. All right, everyone, I'm going to let you go, and love to hear some thoughts from all of you on the new Skydio Too, and would love to hear from the iPad users and GroundStation Pro users that everything's functioning well for you. We'll see you again next week, and I hope you have a great start to the week.